This is a Cincy fan talking with LP. You can catch me on Twitter. That's a Cincy fan talking. You say it like it sounds, just leave off the G. If you have ideas for the show, you can reach me at Cincy_fan talk at yahoo.com. If you have any suggestions for the show, make sure you leave them there. Who knows, you might find yourself as part of the show. Any feedback would be definitely appreciated. And also, make sure you hit the Linktree page that's on my Twitter. Make sure you click on that. You can find all the different ways to contact me there. Enjoy the show. What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of a Cincy Fan Talking Podcast. And of course, this is your boy, yours truly, LP. Appreciate y'all stopping by and listening for, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, however long it takes for me to get all of this off my chest. I don't know. But appreciate you stopping by, coming through the humble pod and checking us out. Definitely appreciate that. And we're gonna jump into some Bengals talk. Gonna jump into some Ohio State talk. We're gonna jump into me reminiscing a little bit because been hearing some albums, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit. But I don't even know if you can call this a messed up day to be a Bengals fan or a Buckeyes fan or whatever. I mean, the Buckeyes won. They didn't look good, and we'll get into that in a second. But they got theirs off and they won. The Bengals took that L after coming through with the W last week. So here's where we sit with the Bengals. Here's where we at. Everybody take a deep breath. Everybody calm down a little bit. It's going to be okay, Bengals fans. It's going to be all right. I got a good feeling about this year after seeing the first two games. We got some stuff we need to tighten up. We got some stuff we need to work on. But overall, it's been a good 2 weeks. All right. It's been a decent 2 weeks. The Bengals have won the first game by 3, lost the second game by 3. So they sitting at 500 with the same amount of points scored as the same amount of points given up. I mean, if my math serves me correctly, you win by 3 and then you lose by 3, your point spread should be 0. That's what I'm thinking. Here's the thing about the Bengals. They are this close, and you can't see my fingers, but the thumb and the finger are super duper close. They are this close to being 2-0. On the flip side, they are this close to being 0-2. That's basically what a 1-1 team is. They're middle of the road. Here's the thing, though. They won a game that shouldn't have been close. They lost a game that shouldn't have been close. But the game against the Bears, it was unique in a couple of ways. First off, them beating Minnesota in a way that was very un-Bengal-like, it is just amazing. The Bengals don't. This never happens. They never kick the field goal at the end of the game to win. They don't come from behind. Like, as Bengals fans, we're not conditioned to that. We're waiting for the worst. We're Charlie Brown, and Lucy's holding the ball, and we're trying to kick it, and Lucy moves it. This is the life of a Bengals fan. Like, this is what we live. We wait for those heartbreak moments. And then when they don't happen, we go like, damn, hold on. People up there might like us, like the football guys might like us. And then you see a game like on Sunday where the Bengals offense was just bad all day for the most part. Shout out to the defense. And people gonna dump on the defense because they let Justin Fields. We were so conflicted in the house, y'all. We like, dang. No. Forget Justin. Hold on. That's Justin Fields. We can't be disrespecting Justin like that. We were so conflicted. Like, dang, like how does this happen? Plus, you got David Montgomery back there. He's a Cincinnati boy, and we like, man, I don't want to root against them, but I want the Bengals to win. We were so conflicted. But shout out to the defense who did an awesome job. The defense missed 2 tackles. And if they would have made those 2 tackles, the Bengals had a very good shot to win the game. On third down, with about, I think, like 6 minutes left, our new guy, the one we got from Dallas, he missed a tackle and gave up a first down, and that was crucial. That was absolutely crucial. And then at the end of the game, Trey Hendrickson missed a tackle on Justin Fields. Justin Fields gets the first down and basically ends the game. You are not about to hear me talk bad about the Bengals defense because they missed those 2 tackles. As much as we hate to say it, missing tackles is kind of part of the game. You got to make the crucial tackles. But at the same time, the Bengals defense gave up a touchdown and 2 field goals. If you tell me that the Cincinnati Bengals defense is giving up 13 points, I'm like, there's no way that we're losing. Now with our offense, you must be crazy. Like, for real. If you got a Cincinnati Bengals defense balling out like this, we're gonna win more games than we lose. So I say shout out to like all of the defense. They're playing differently. You can tell, like, out of these first 2 games. I will say this though. And you know what? Logan Wilson made up for it by getting that pick. So I'm not even mad. But that fumble that Justin Fields had, if Logan Wilson or anybody from the Bengals scoops that up and scores, we talking Bengals win, y'all. Like we talking 2-0. And that's the thing. That's the thing about the NFL that a lot of people don't understand. You look at a team that goes like 6-11, 17 games, y'all don't forget. You look at a team that goes 6-11 or 7-10 or 8-9 or something like that. I guarantee you that throughout the course of that season, you'll see 4 or 5 plays. And you go like, dang, if they would have made those plays, they 11-6. You know what I'm saying? They 10-7. They 12-5. That's the NFL. You got 3 teams that are purely trash. You got 3 teams that are absolutely awesome. And everybody else is in the middle. I mean, it's basically America. I feel like that's why people love the NFL so much. The NFL is a microcosm of America. You got your top of the top, you got your lowest of the low, but 85% of the league, just like 85% of the country, is in the middle, man. It's a nation. I think Chris Rock said it. It's a nation full of people in the middle. Like, that's what we are, and that's what the NFL is. You got a whole lot of teams just crunched up in the middle. And I feel like the Bengals are jumping from that low part to the middle part. And in the NFL, that's where you want to be. You want to be at the top, of course. But if you can't get to the top, if you can get to that middle or that upper middle, you set, because you'll make the playoffs. And if you make the playoffs, that's basically the goal, because anything can happen in the playoffs. I mean, we've seen teams that's like the 5th or 6th seed in the playoffs make a run to the Super Bowl. Some of them actually won it. So that's the job. If you can't win the division, find a way to get into the playoffs. And I feel like the Bengals, and I'm just going by the first 2 games, y'all. Going by the first 2 games, the Bengals are right there. They are so close. They just got to make those plays. Last week, they made those plays and they won. This week, they didn't and they lost. In the NFL, you watch the whole game, but in every game, you'll be able to pick out 4 or 5 plays. 4 or 5. The team that makes those 4 or 5 plays, they win the game. The team that doesn't make those 4 or 5 plays, they lose the game. And this week, the Bengals didn't make those plays. Oh, and that offensive line, problematic. like it's really problematic. The play calling really bothered me more than anything. The defense, I feel like, was fine. It was the play calling. And I hear people going like, nah, man, they gonna blitz, so you gotta play it safe. Did that work for the Rams? What did the Rams do last week to the Bears? They torched them through the air. And when you got them kind of falling back, then you go ahead and run your short stuff, and then you like do your running game or whatever. But if you got a team that's aggressive, then you got to let them know, hey, you try that aggressive stuff, we're going over your head. It's basically chess. You can't go in going like, this is what I do, and I'm going to do what I do. You got to be able to adapt to your opponent. If you got somebody that's an aggressive chess player, then you kind of lean back and let them do what they do, and then you kill them. But if you got somebody that kind of like to fall back a little bit, then you go at them. You be aggressive. You got to be able to switch it up. The thing about the Bengals is we've been hearing all this talk about how the Bengals have this open offense and they're supposed to do this, that, and the third, but then they let the team dictate what they do. Like, if that's your game, then you do what you do. And you don't let people come in like, well, we're going to blitz. Oh, since you blitzing, I got to fall back. No. If what you do is attack, then you got to let them know, hey, I know your game plan and we're going to tweak it a little bit because, y'all like the blitz. But we're going to do what we do because we feel like we're better at what we do than what you are at what you do. And it had to be really frustrating for the Bengals offense to have the shackles put on them for the first 55 minutes of the game because they were so worried about what the Bears do. I feel like the Bengals, especially those wide receivers and Mixon and running back, they're like, let us do what we do because we feel like we're at the point where we're better than other people at what they do. So these next 2 or 3 games will be a real telling point for me as far as the Bengals offense. If you have faith in your offense, like you showed in week 1, then you're like, look, you're going to blitz. You might get a sack or two. But I feel like my team is better than your team. So I'm going to do what I do because I feel like my team is better. Really good teams do that. They take advantage of other people. If somebody likes to blitz, they'll fake them out and fall back a little bit, chess stuff. But if I feel like I'm better than you at what I do than what you do, then at some point I'm like, forget what you're doing. I feel like my team is better than yours. So since my team is better, I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to throw the ball over the top to my wide receivers. I'm going to get Mixon out on the outside. That's what I'm going to do because I feel like my team is better than yours. Teams that don't feel like their team is better than the other team, you see what the Bengals did. And at some point, I think Zach Taylor was like, look, I got to say, forget this. And that's when you saw the good stuff happen. The Bears are weak over the top. And it took the Bengals 55 minutes to realize that. I feel like that was really the deciding factor, me personally. And I wouldn't say Zach Taylor is a bad coach because of it. We all got to remember he's young. So he's still learning. I feel like this is a learning moment for him too. Burrow learned a lot, throwing those picks. He's like, I can throw 3 picks in a game and I'm okay. I'm still here. What don't make you, what don't break you, will make you. And I think Burrow learned that. It's good to struggle. I feel like people don't understand that enough. Struggle is good. Learning requires failure. It really does. You can't tell me anything that you learn without failing first. I mean, only the super duper prodigies finished everything the first time and got it absolutely right, no flaws. Burrow's going to struggle. We're going to have some 3 interception games. This is going to happen. I would appreciate if they don't throw a pick 6, but I mean, it's beauty in the struggle. It really is. We'll remember these times and be like, hey, remember Burrow threw those 3 picks and then we still almost won the game. That man, a soldier, he get it done. We gotta get into the point where we're appreciating the struggle because it makes the success that much better. It really does. And as Bengals fans, I feel like we've been struggling for so long. As soon as we see something bad, we get that Charlie Brown complex. And we're like, oh man. But it's okay. We 1-1. We got the Steelers coming to town. My fault. We got to go to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. And it should be a really good game. The Bengals just have to do what they do. We have an identity. We really do. People think that we don't. The Bengals have an identity. You take Burrow You spread those wide receivers out, drop them over the top. Once you soften them up a little bit, mix it right through the middle. I mean, the identity is there, good people. That's why I'm really excited about what I'm seeing after the first two games. I feel like this will be a really good stretch for the Bengals to do well. I'm also not really concerned about the Buckeyes. I mean, I'm concerned. I, I'm a little salty at the defense, but then I remember who's on defense. And it's really the Buckeyes' fault that the defense is struggling. It's their fault. The Buckeyes are a victim of success. That's really what it is. And you can say the same for Alabama. You can say the same for Clemson. These schools are victims of their own success. We've had so many defensive players leave early that now we have a large group of freshmen and sophomores and redshirt juniors playing defense. The struggle is going to be real for a little while. I guarantee you that the team that we see now will not look like the team that we see at the end of the year once Michigan rolls into town. I'm pretty sure that Michigan fans are like, damn, why could we not play the Buckeyes right now? Because Michigan fans know the same thing that we all know. The Buckeyes are going to tighten up the ship. They are. I mean, we have too much talent not to. I would say, people, don't freak out. I have no excuses for what Tulsa did. Tulsa came to play. The Buckeyes kind of slept for long stretches of the game. I'm not about to make an excuse like, oh, well, Tulsa is really good, and maybe they are. But the Buckeyes could have played better. What you're seeing are growing pains. The messed up part about the growing pains for the Buckeyes is that they came this year when they had the schedule that they had at Minnesota versus Oregon. If we could have flip flopped this schedule and had Tulsa first and then Akron second and then Minnesota and then Oregon, that would have been absolutely awesome. It really would have been. But it doesn't work that way. You got to play the hand that you're dealt. And right now, this is so reminiscent of the 2014 season for me because I remember the Buckeyes taking the L to Virginia Tech, dropping all the way down to like 23, 24, and people just kind of wrote off the Buckeyes like, whatever. You got to worry about them this year. And they just kept climbing up and climbing up and climbing up and getting better, working out the kinks. And all of a sudden, you're looking at the Buckeyes in the fourth spot. And then they beat Alabama. And then they beat Oregon. National champs. I see so many similarities between that team and this team. Think about it. Young quarterback. Think about it. Young running back. Ezekiel Elliott wasn't really talked about at first. He became dominant towards the end of the year. Travion Henderson, you're seeing the same thing. Nobody talked about JT Barrett at the beginning of the year. Towards the end of the year, became dominant. Of course, he got hurt, and then Dwayne Haskins came through, cementing his legacy. Boom. A defense that got ran through by Virginia Tech. I mean, they looked bad. They got better. They got better. They got better. Same thing is happening here. Now, I saw spurts where the Buckeyes defense looked good. They just got to kind of take the reins off. They got to take the leash off a little bit. They got to attack. That's what the Buckeyes do. Defensive line play has to step up. But I'm not really worried yet. If we see this happen against Penn State, or if we see this happen against Rutgers, sneaky good, or Maryland, sneaky good, two sneaky good teams. If we see this happen there, maybe it's cause for concern. But for right now, look, y'all, it's beauty in the struggle. All right, it really is. Embrace it. I'm not saying, hey, everything's great. I think things ain't great. That's why you call it the struggle. Things ain't great right now, but all this is doing is helping the Buckeyes understand what they need to do to get better. That's all it is. So I'll be interested to see if they look better against Akron next week. we'll see. We'll see. You got a Cincy fan talking with LP? Be right back.
Hi, I'm Princess and I'm Queen. This is Daddy.
You have to say, and this is a Cincy fan talking with LP.
And this is a sensitive friend talking with LP Daddy.
Nice job.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? What's up, y'all? We are back. We are back. We are back. Appreciate you sticking and staying with us. So I've been listening to a lot of music lately. Kanye dropped his, Drake dropped his, and I feel like they were okay. People keep asking me like, which one was better, Kanye or Drake, Donda or CLB, like which one was best, and I'm like, eh, they're both good albums. I feel like they both did what they came to do. I mean, it's like that person that always gets A's on the project. They always get like a 91. And you appreciate excellence. So you're looking at that person with the steady 91s, and you're like, you bigging them up because they did a great job. But if you ask them like, what stood out, on those albums, I don't really feel like anything necessarily stood out. And again, that's not even a diss song. That's a real song. It's like they do great things, and that's what they did. But I don't feel like I can pick out one moment and go like, man, and I had to like keep, hitting the back button and going over and over again. Although Champagne Poetry on that first one, that was excellent. On Drake's, that was 100% like this is what we came for. But I feel like the more I listened to it, it was like, what am I looking to say? I got you. There's no real consistent theme. I feel like both of them, they just got a lot of people together and there's like, do a song with me, do a song with me, do a song with me. And the best albums have a theme. I mean, they do. And they get all of the producers that make beats to follow that theme. Or in the case of what Nas did, you'll just use basically one producer to keep that theme. And I feel like that's why what Nas did with his first and second King's disease, I feel like they're better than what Kanye and what Drake pulled out. Because he followed a formula. Nas did. And he made sure that the people that were with him stuck to that formula. They stuck to that vision. Um, they didn't really freelance from the vision. If you look at any great album, you can see a consistent theme. I'll take you all the way back to a Clementine from Outkast by Outkast. I'll take you back there, and a lot of people go like, "Man, that was like one of their best albums." If you listen closely, there's a theme. When you listen to all of the songs in order, you can hear the theme. And the theme is very simple. When they dropped AT Aliens, everybody was shitting on them. Everybody was like, "Oh, y'all gone." And first y'all some pimps, like now y'all some like y'all from outer space now. Like, what do y'all do? Like, what is this? And Outcast went back to the lab and they was like, look, we got something for you. Y'all not about to keep coming at us. Y'all not about to keep coming at the South like we not what we are. And that entire album, it was angry. Like if you really listen to it, they was through with y'all. Like like y'all not about to keep pooping on us. And what came out was absolute fire. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics closely, like you listen to what Big Boy is saying when he's like, I gotta hit the source. I need my other half of Mike. They was tired of what was happening to them. So track by track, they just lined it all up and they let people know this is what we can do. I think y'all forgot. when you listen to great albums, you listen to J. Cole for Your Eyes Only, you listen to Tupac's All Eyes on Me. You take an album that you like, that you really like, and I guarantee you, from any genre, I guarantee you can go like, this is what they were feeling. This is the theme of this album. I feel like a lot of the albums that people like today, they don't really have that theme. They're more like mixtapes, you know? You can get a mixtape and you can just throw whoever you want to on the shop. I mean, it's a mixtape. You can do what you do. And I'm not saying that albums are better than mixtapes. No, I mean, there's some fire mixtapes out there. But when you want replay value from an album, you need that theme there. Because when you pull that album out 5, 10, 15 years later and you start listening to it, you go ahead and pull it up on Apple Music or whatever, you'll go like, dang, I remember this. I remember they was on that. Because I remember way back when Outkast hit that equipment out with them, it was like the South was like kind of in the middle as far as the rap scene. If you was like a real rap head like myself, then you knew the South was out here for the longest. You knew Houston had theirs. You knew Memphis had theirs. You knew Atlanta. You knew Miami. Like you knew all of that stuff. But a lot of people kind of slept on them. And with Kanye's and with Drake's, you know, they kind of say what the theme is. They kind of put it out there. But when you listen to the tracks, I just don't feel like they're all together. It feels like they pulled 3 or 4 different albums together to make this one. And with Nas it's like all the way through, him and Hit Boy was like, we doing this, we doing this, we doing this. And I feel like that's what makes King's Disease 2 better than Donda or CLB. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. That's that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Overall, though, you can't listen to any one of those and say that the flow is not there, the talent is not there. It's really a matter of preference. If you were to say, "No, man, Drake killed it. Drake is way better," you're not going to hear me argue fully with that because when's the last time Drake made a trash album? I can't recall. Like I really can't. And Kanye, he'll step out and do all types of crazy stuff, and it'll be fire. Like I feel like the life of Pablo was it kind of had like a weird theme to it, like it really did. And I feel like Donda, he named it after his mother, and that's touching in itself. But I just feel like the tracks weren't they. I won't say they weren't placed right, but when you listen to it from beginning to end, it just feels like it just kind of hops all over the place. Like he has great songs that just are kind of pushed together to make a great album. And I feel like Drake's is the same thing. They pushed a lot of great songs together to make a great album. And I'm saying with Nas, what they did was they didn't just push tracks together. Every track had a purpose on the album. That's kind of where I'm saying. So overall, I'm bumping all three of them. like you'll hear all three of these being played. So yeah, that's kind of what that is, and that's where we at. If you haven't heard either one of those three, make sure you get all three. I called this last year around this time, and it happened. Uh, if I wasn't the first one to call it, I was definitely one of the first ones. I'm gonna call it again right here. Nas King's Disease 2 will win another Grammy. I'm calling it right now. Like it, it is going to win another Grammy. I don't know if it's going to be best rap song or best rap album, but he going from 0 to 2 in 2 years. That's what's going to happen. It is that high quality of an album, and once again, and Nas has been great at this recently, which is crazy because back in the day, Nas was like, I ain't really doing that many features. He's like, I'm not. He's like, that's not me, and I kind of feel him because I mean I never even had a guest on my show. It's really hard for me personally to kind of like not necessarily give that space up, but it's like I know what I need to say and I kind of know how I want to get it out. And I went through a long stretch where I was like, I just don't know if I'm not necessarily worthy of having guests on my show, but I went through a stretch where I'm like, I just didn't feel like my show was important enough to have guests. I'm like, I'm doing my little small thing here, and other people got these big pies, and I'm like, who am I to ask them to be on my show? Why would they say that? Why they want to do that? And I feel like I'm at the space now where I'm comfortable enough with myself, and I'm comfortable enough with the pie, and I'm comfortable enough with other people to be like, hey, why don't you come on and say a few words? So I feel like that'll be opening up really soon. And I kind of feel like that's where Nas is now. He's like, I'm good with me. I'm okay with me. So I can open up my space and I can do what I want. And the best part about it is he's not one of the old heads that's like, I don't respect what they doing nowadays. He got A Boogie with the hoodie on there. He got who he got? He put Blast on there. I've been telling you about Blast for a while, for real. He got YG on there, and it's really cool to see us embracing the young folks out here doing rap, because we were young out here before too, and we had the old heads coming at us like, we don't know what we doing with this. We don't respect the art. It don't sound different. It kind of made me laugh when I hear, you know, people my age saying that now. I'm like, damn, people saying that to us back then. Like, you know, flip the page and you doing it now, and we can't really be gatekeepers like that. We really can't. Our rap art is gonna change. It's gonna evolve. When we picked up the rap game, it looked completely different from what the Sugar Hill Gang was doing with Rappers Delight. We took it and we twisted it and we made it different. The older folks didn't like it, but we made it different. That's what's happening now. It looks different. It sounds different. It's still great art. Now, of course, some of it ain't. Some of it is pure trash. But go back to when we was listening to rap. Was everything fire? Was everything absolutely bomb? Like, you listen to everything you listened to back in 8th and ninth grade? Nah, some of that was trash. And you know that now. You didn't know it then. We give folks a chance to understand what they like and what they don't like. I mean, that's the beauty of music in general. It's some stuff people listen to and go like, dude, this was trash. I used to listen to this. Like, I'm embarrassed. Let me go ahead and duck this off. Then there's some stuff that you proudly like, hey youngster, you need to hear this. Like this is what it is. And that's where rap is right now. We need to really embrace that, because at its surface, I mean, rap hasn't really changed. Rap is the same as you remember it. It just looks a little different and it feels a little different. But if you listen to the wordplay, you listen to the lines and the lyrics and the beats, same thing, different bag. Real talk. And we're gonna go ahead and sign off for now. You know where we at, you know what we do, you know what time we do it, and if you don't, make sure you listen to the next part, because I'll tell you then. But other than that, y'all, life is good. Peace out. If you're not ready for the conversation to end, I'm not either. Make sure to catch me on Twitter. That's a Cincy fan talking. Leave off the G at the end of it, and we can keep the conversation going. Also, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button so you can catch the next episodes. The episodes will drop every Tuesday. If there's a change in that, I'll make sure to let you know. Appreciate the support. As always, life is good.